Hey everybody, this is Roger Mendoza. Thank you so much for joining us on our Biz Talk. And today's Biz Talk is going to be pretty amazing because we sometimes not forget, but we forget to how to follow up and how to connect to our customers. And we're going to have a special guest with us talking with just about that. But if you don't know what Monday night calls are, if you register for this call, this is your first time, welcome. And thank you for being on. So the Monday night calls, we have 4 months. We have two in the beginning that are totally about products and all about oils. And we talk about issues and things that has to do with our healthcare in regards to how doTERRA's initiatives and things like that. And then we also have the two biz talks that we have at the Mondays at the end of the month, which is the two Mondays at the end of the month, which we talk about anything in regards to business, to any type of strategy, anything that has to do with allowing us to have our biggest potential and maximize our way into how we do business with doTERRA. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Miss Pam Tracy. She's from Pittsburgh. She's been a wellness advocate for about 4 years, and this past fall, she kind of took business into her own hands and said, hey, I want to go do this a little bit more. She's a realtor out in Pittsburgh, and she wants to do the doTERRA business a little bit more, so that's why she has connected a little bit more with her customers. I'm wondering if she's brought some of her realtor experience along with it, because I'm sure that has to do with how she connects. So without further ado, Ms. Pam Tracy, thank you for being on.
Hi, thank you all, and thanks, Roger. And yes, a lot of my experience does come from real estate, and actually even before real estate. So for all of my adult life, I've been concerned with customers. The first 12 years of my career, it was with corporate customers, so I was visiting them in the workplace. And then I spent 12 years as a stay-at-home mom, and I lived with my customers. And then for the past 10 years, I've been a realtor, and so my customers are all over the place. And connecting with them in some ways can be easier, and some ways more difficult than when I was dealing with the corporate customers. But regardless of what type of customers you have, the strategies are all the same. And a lot of what you have to do with connecting with customers comes well before you actually speak to them. It's with preparedness. And the first thing is, if you want to succeed in any sales business, you need to focus on one thing above all others, and that is bringing exceptional value to your clients. That's value of your products, value of your services, the value that you personally bring to them, as well as the company that you represent. And if you want to succeed in sales and focusing on others, you need to be a go-giver. And if you are a go-giver, giving to others, you will increase your dollar per hour while having a lot of fun and reducing your stress. At least that's what I found. So I'm going to talk about this principle that we learned in real estate, and this has been one of the last classes that I have been practicing, and it's part of the reason that I'm on here, because my uplines Janice, I told her a lot about this program, and she just thought it was phenomenal because I've been working on it. So there are 4 main principles of this ninja selling system, and the book is called Ninja Selling that this training is from. So you can try going to your library or getting it on Amazon. I would highly recommend it. It's really a great book. And I think what you'll find is that everything here is simple, but it's not easy, because it takes time and it takes discipline and it takes dedication to go ahead and follow through with everything. And the first thing that you'll see is personal mastery. So you really need to be able to control your thoughts and energy. A big portion of your life, and especially your work, all depends on this controlling your thoughts and your energy. Ninja selling tells you how to run your brain and program yourself for success. You need to focus your energy so that you can be your best and you can bring out the best in others. The second principle is stop selling, start solving. And your third is your ninja business strategy, and that's actually the systems that you'll use. And fourthly is when you actually connect and communicate with your customers. So the three keys to mastery and success are your mindset, your skill set, and your actions. Because it's great if you go ahead and prepare, but if you never act on it, it doesn't really get you anything. So your mindset. The first thing about the ninjas is the ninja morning routine, and it starts with gratitude. Every morning, I try to write my gratitude list. If I know that I haven't gotten up in time, it will just be a mental thing that I go through, but it's great to be able to write it down, to go back and look at it. When you start with gratitude, you can't have negativity if you're thinking about all the positive things that you have in your life. The second is to do a positive reading. That can be personal development, it can be something spiritual, it can be a paragraph, it can be a couple pages, it can be a chapter, whatever you have time for in the morning. But again, you're carrying on that positive feeling, the positive mindset. And then you go into affirmations and visualization, and you're focusing on a goal as if it's already happened. What they actually recommend is that you write your affirmations 25 times each day. And they're not the only people that do that. I think for those of you that might have been following Rachel Hollis at the end, the last 90 days, that's something that she talks about too, is writing and rewriting your affirmations as if they'd already happened and then letting them manifest. So you have those three things that really set your mind positively, and then they want you to write 2 personal notes. They could be to family members, they could be to clients, they can be to friends, they can be to your upline, they can be to your downline, but 2 personal notes. And just express a kindness, express that you're thinking about them, you may be thanking them for something, but 2 personal notes. That's going to set the tone for the next steps of your morning routine. And that is 10 calls as a minimum for customer service as part of your flow program, which I'm going to talk about the flow program a little later. Then you're going to focus on your hot list and your warm list. You're going to make those lists up. You're going to start with your sphere of influence, your people, everyone that you know. Who do you think is hot? Who do you think is warm? That's where you're going to focus. I'm not saying that you're not going to focus on cold leads or people that you don't know, but you really get a much higher rate of return from people who already know you, like you, and trust you. So those are the four things of the routine, and then the 3 things that come after the morning routine. There are also there are Ninja Weekly objectives. Those are to have 2 or more in-person consultations and to speak with 50 prospects. Now, that might be a little daunting. You think 50 prospects, but the only requirement that you have for this is to ask them Ford questions. I'm going to talk to you about Ford questions. Some of you probably already know about that, but we'll go into that. So the requirements are not that daunting. But the biggest thing is with all of this, to have a notebook or have something online, an Excel spreadsheet. Ninja actually sells notebooks that you can buy that you can just do check marks off. To have something where you log all of this, because this is where you can see, you make yourself accountable, number one, and then you can go back and you can actually see your payoffs, looking at who you've talked to, and then at the end of the year, what you've actually achieved with them. So that's very, very important. So the second principle is stop selling, start solving. And this should be an easy one for us because of what we sell. We really do sell solutions. We sell solutions to a lot of different things. We sell health solutions. We sell cleaning solutions. We sell emotional solutions. The company is great with the products that we have and with giving us information about how they can be used so that you can provide solutions to people. In ninja selling, you can only help someone though who's moving towards you. If people are moving away from you, they're not paying attention to you. They're not listening to you. So the first step in ninja selling is to get people to move towards you, to attract them rather than to pursue them. People tend to move towards people that they know, that they like, and that they trust. Someone that makes them feel good, someone that they're comfortable with. So you need to position yourself as a likable, trusted advisor to them. The other thing is people move towards value. Your mission is to create value. And what do people value? Anything that solves their problems. And what are their problems? Problems are easing their pain. Or if you're providing pleasure to them, making them feel good. These are the two primary drivers that motivate people to take action. So think of ways that you can solve their problem or make them feel good, and you'll be creating value. But how do you know what your potential customers' problems are or what makes them feel good? How do you discover their pains and their pleasures? You ask them, and then you start solving. So ninja selling is about creating value. I mentioned that. What do people value? Anything that solves their problems. Two primary drivers. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind. As I shared with Roger, this is my first time with a PowerPoint, so please forgive me. So what are you going to do? You're going to ask them questions. The acronym for asking them the questions is FORD. You're going to ask them questions about their family and friends, about their occupation, about their recreation, and about their dreams. What you want to do is you really want to engage them in this conversation. You want them to have possession of the conversation for about 75% of the time, which means you're only going to be talking 25% of the time. Why are you going to do that? Because you want them to be engaged. You want them to think that that you care about them, and you should care about them. You don't want them to just think that you do. You really do want to care about these people. You want to find out about them. You want to know about them, and the way to do that is to get them talking. And so you're going to ask questions about their family. So what's your daughter going to do after she graduates? How's your mom doing after her surgery? Oh, I heard that you went skiing with the Carrolls. How are they doing? You're going to talk to them about their occupation. So, what do you do for a living? How's business going? Recreation. Have you planned any vacations lately? How are your holidays going? Have you picked up any new hobbies, dreams? If there was something that you could do, if you had no restraints whatsoever, what is it that you would do with your life? What is it that you would do with the next month of your life? There are a lot of different questions, and obviously you're not going to ask them all of these questions all in one sitting. So these questions give you a lot of conversation so that you can continually connect with them. So once you ask them the initial question, what are you going to do when they give you an answer? Well, you're going to listen, and you're going to listen very actively. You're going to take mental notes. If you're on the phone, maybe you're even jotting down some notes on paper. But what you're going to do is you're going to take that conversation, and that is going to lead you to your next question for them. Because you're going to take that question and keep looking for problems that they have or pleasures that they want to enjoy. And you're going to be thinking about how you are going to use your products and services to solve those problems or to bring them pleasure. And I also do have notes over here so that I don't miss things. So I need to just pop and move a page because I actually am doing this without the notes. It's going better than I thought it would. And so I need to get myself going. So the other thing is that I need to ask you, are all of these questions easy to ask? Yes, they are. Do people enjoy talking about themselves, talking about their families, their friends, what they enjoy doing? Absolutely. And as they share this information with you and they have time of possession, they feel that you care about them and your relationship is being built. Oh, wow, I got even farther than I thought. I get to move to the next page and the next screen. So after we start building a relationship, building rapport with them, we need to create value. How do we do that? Well, the ninja people call it the onion process. First of all, you're going to make a list of your basic products and services. Obviously, you're going to do this before you're on the phone with these people. And maybe you should be jotting it down every day and adding to it. But you're making a list of the basic products and services offered by virtually every other competitor in the market. And then you're going to list your products and services that differentiate you from your competitors. For us, one of those differentiations is going to be that we are certified pure, that we are therapeutic grade, that we do research, that we are creating health clinics, that we are doing all of these different things. Those kind of things differentiate us. Co-impacting, Healing Hands Foundation, all of those things differentiate us. How are we also different from what you can buy in a store, from what you can buy online? Well, it's us. It's our service. It's us taking the time to educate, taking the time to educate ourselves and to educate them, us taking the time to listen to them, to recommend different things, to being a trusted advisor to them. They're not getting that if they go to the store. They're not getting that if they buy oils off of Amazon. That's something where we really differentiate ourselves. And as much as you're selling products, you are selling yourself. You're selling that relationship. You need to get to the point where people actually want to buy from you because they want to see you and they want to talk to you. That is a huge portion. When I worked in corporate sales, I had clients that they wanted to know when I was coming in because their wife was making them extra lunch that they were sharing with me. That's the kind of relationship that you want to build with your clients. So what you want to be is not only a trusted advisor, but a proactive advisor. You want to call the customers before they call you. Why are you going to call them? You're going to call them to see if their orders shipped and they received them. You're going to call them and see how their oils are working. You're going to call them to invite them to classes that you're having. You're going to call them to invite them out for coffee or for lunch. You're going to invite them for one-on-one consultations. That's how you're going to be proactive. You're going to be trusted because you're always going to do what's best for the customer, even if it's not in you, even if you don't think that it's in your best interest in the short term, because in the long term, it always is. Our company does what's best for the customer. If we had something that was not at the quality that we wanted it to be, they wouldn't just go ahead and put it out on the market. We would be out of stock on a product for a period of time, as opposed to delivering an inferior product. You're going to be doing the same thing. If somebody you want someone to do a class and they can't do a class because something happens, you're going to be extremely understanding to them and say, no problem, I get it. You know what? Let me check back with you and see how things are going in a week or two. You're going to become an advisor to them because you're providing potential solutions to your customers. And the thing that I want you to know is never fake it, because when you fake it as an advisor, you're no longer going to be trusted. You know what? I'm sure when you go to a doctor, if you go for something that is very routine, they're able to tell you exactly what they're going to prescribe for you and exactly what you need to do. But if you have something else that's not so common, they're not going to be able to give you an answer right away. They're going to have to go back and they're going to have to review, and they're going to call you after they've reviewed your results and talked about things. It's the same thing with you. It's the same thing in real estate. If I'm talking with someone that lives in a neighborhood that I'm not familiar with, I'm not going to be able to give them answers right away, because I'm going to have to go back and look at market statistics. And I'm going to have to look at those numbers and figure out what's going on so that I can give them an educated analysis of what their market is like before I can make a recommendation. So the same thing goes with us. You may not know, especially if you're new. There are a lot of things that I don't know, but it's better to say, I don't know, I'm not certain, but let me check on that and let me get back to you. And the key thing is doing that checking and following up with them, getting back to them in an appropriate amount of time. That is much more of a way to become a proactive, trusted advisor. So, ways to be a proactive, trusted advisor. Show up. Get up every morning. Go to work. Do that morning routine. Make those calls. Send those cards. Schedule those consultations. Schedule classes. Schedule coffees and lunches with people. Pay attention. Listen to what they have to say. Tell them the truth and keep your commitments. Create value for your customers so that you're solving their problems, relieving their pains, and providing them with good feelings, giving them pleasure, and don't get attached to the outcome. Now, if you're working this, you may be in a situation where you say, well, that's easy for you to say, don't get attached to an outcome. You have an additional outcome, your income. You're working as a realtor. But I want you to know that there was a time when I was a realtor where I was in a really bad situation. I had been a stay-at-home mom, as I mentioned to you earlier, and I did that for 12 years. I had started working as a real estate agent. My first year, I grossed $7,000. Not net, I grossed $7,000. And then I had problems in my family. And the next thing you know, I was moving out of my home with my daughter, who was in college, and I was paying rent, paying utility bills, buying food, and spending money on my career. And I have to tell you, there were times when I looked at my bank account and I didn't know how the bills were going to get paid. And the way that I became a realtor was I had prayed about it. So I really felt that God had led me to becoming a realtor. So there were times that I was down on my knees, yelling at him, telling him, you know what I need. You were the one I really felt that told me to do this. So please, please, please bring me the clients that I can serve to make the money so that I can exist and take care of myself and my daughter. So I do know about that. But the time to do that is when you're at home and talk to God or whoever you do, but do not do it with your clients. Do not walk in looking for a sale, because I have to tell you, if you are desperate to make a sale, they will smell that stinking desperation all over you and start moving straight away. That is not the way to do it. So when I say don't become attached to the outcome, I mean it. It's for your benefit, because if you do, you'll just not have good results. So generating business, the ninja strategy. Now we're going to go to how you actually do this, and it's called flow, frequency of interactions with your people. The objective with flow is to find ways to increase the quality and quantity of our flow with people who know us. And note, it's quality before quantity. If you don't have quality, don't go for the quantity because you're just wasting their time. And again, they're going to start moving away from you. All flow must be perceived as valuable. It must either solve a problem or it must make them feel good. The 4 criteria for your flow program is that it's valuable, that it's customized, that it's personalized, and that it's a combination of art and science. So I think I've talked enough about valuable, but customized. What do we do with customized? Well, for customized, you're getting to know them. You're getting to know them with the conversations, with asking the questions, and what you're going to do is you're going to customize it by sending them information on or giving them a sample of something that you feel will be a benefit to them based on the conversations that you've had. An example, I do this a lot with my real estate clients. Not only do I do it with them for the real estate, but while I'm with them for real estate, I really learn a lot about them personally. So I had a woman in her late 20s who was buying a home from me, and one day she was in great pain because she had shingles. And so I came home and I looked in a book for shingles, and I mixed up a blend, and then I found a couple of different oils that are recommended for shingles. And what I did as my closing gift to her was I gave her a diffuser with those 2 oils that were specifically for shingles. Suggested that she diffuse them, also suggested that she rub them on her spine, on the bottoms of her feet, and then the other mixture, the blend that I made, I put in a roller ball. She took it to work, she applied it to the areas of pain, and I followed up with her 2 weeks after, not only to see how she liked her new home, but also to see how she liked her oils. And you know what made the biggest difference to her? That rollerball blend that I gave to her. She said, wow, it is so fast acting. I roll it on and within minutes I have relief. Now I have to apply it again every 1 to 2 hours, but it's better than anything that the doctor's given me. So that's how you customize. You listen, you give them customized samples, you write customized notes. It doesn't have to be something that's related to the oils either. It can be that they have a child that plays soccer and you see something that you think is awesome related to soccer and you send it to them, because you're not always wanting to keep selling them on the oils or the real estate or whatever it is that you're selling. You're selling them on the relationship. You're letting them know that you care about all aspects of their life. And the combination of art and science, basically the science is maybe giving them a little bit of information about the, not necessarily the chemical compounds, but some of the results from some of the studies that have been done. Some of the things, letting them know that these are sourced in different areas where maybe some of our competitors have all of their products grown in the United States, and that might not be the best place for certain things to be grown. So those are the criteria for your flow program. Now we're going to talk about 8 and 8. 8 and 8 is a specific program, and it can be used for prospects. It can be used for your dead leads. It can be used at the beginning of the year for all of your prospects. What you're going to do is 8 touches in 8 weeks, and those 8 touches can be any of the things that we just discussed. It can be an email, it can be a text, it can be snail mail, it can be a phone call, and it should. Number 7 should be a phone call, and number 8 should be an in-face meeting if that's at all possible. If you're not in the same state, do a Zoom call. What this does is, once again, it's going to effectively connect you. It's going to build that rapport. And what do we need to do? A lot of background before we actually connect. So just to go over everything, it all starts with you and your mindset. Focus on bringing exceptional value to your clients. Create and be consistent with a morning routine. Build relationships and determine needs by asking the 4 questions: family and friends, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Provide values and solutions, and become a proactive, trusted advisor with a system in place where you make yourself accountable and you can look back and you can see the results at the end of a month, at the end of a quarter, at the end of a year. And that's it.
Wow, that was amazing, by the way. You told me that you were was your first time doing your PowerPoint, the first time doing Zoom, and you kind of blew it out of the water. It was actually really, really amazing. Really key points, which I love. I'm gonna go stop the recording, and we'll have questions. If you guys have any questions for Pam,